Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sonic 35th Anniversary Special Review. We're going over the comic book that was put out for the Sonic 35th Anniversary. So, I have been doing a lot of anniversaries. You saw I did a bunch of the 30th Anniversary comics, and now, lo and behold, Sonic is on his 35th. So, I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go back to the comic books, and let's talk about the 35th Anniversary. So here we go. So this is set in the classic era, as most of the anniversaries are. So it starts off with, Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles. They're all hanging out on Angel Island. So Knuckles is like, oh yeah, it's been nice hanging with you guys. And Sonic's like, oh, so you're saying we're best friends? Knuckles like, no, we're not. So something crashes onto Angel Island, and it's a meteor. Right, so they go over there, and as soon as the meteor crashes, it's got the vines instantly come out from the crater they're in. So, it's it's got this almost like a see-through kind of ball is what it is, right? And it's got a plant in there. So Tails is oh yeah. So by looking at it, it looks like it's got some sort of ability to nurture life. As long as it draws as long as it has another life to draw from, right? So they're looking at it, oh, it's beautiful, and then that ball bastard Eggman shows up. Oh man, and he snaps it away. Thank you very much. Right? He traced the massive energy spike, found it. How the hell he managed to come here so quickly, I will never know, because it's been about 30 seconds, but he's here. And okay, so right here, there is okay, we do have to talk about this. I was going to talk about it later, but the dialogue in this. Okay, this was the biggest thing one of the biggest things I took away from this story. The dialogue in this is atrocious. It is awful to read, because I can tell what the writer is trying to say and do, but it is written in a way that is so fucking unnatural. No human talks this way. It honestly feels like, if you've ever done this, it honestly feels like AI wrote it. It feels like the way an AI would write something, and a bad AI too, because it doesn't understand the way humans talk, the way we speak, the natural way we speak, and emote things out, right? It doesn't do that. Because, look, there's this one here where Tails is trying to stop Eggman from escaping. He says, Eggman, stop. It could be dangerous in a way we don't know yet. Why would Tails talk like that? He'd say, Eggman, stop. This is dangerous. We don't know what it does. But speaking like that is Tails does not talk like that. No human talks like that. So moving, we'll get into, because there's more. Don't worry, there's more. So they're all flying to chase Eggman, and they're like, Knuckles, are you sure you're allowed to come? And he's like, it's fine. I hid the Master Emerald, and he just put a giant cage over it. So there's this giant tower right there that Eggman's got. Never say this guy does not go all out for his bases. He puts in the work. He makes sure he's not trying to hide. He makes sure that's his base. So suddenly we see that they have Eggman has chopped down a bunch of trees, and he's got a bunch of generators, and because of the generators, it's causing an electrical interference, so the tornado crashes. Oh no, they have a crash landing. And here is an example of more bad dialogue. So Tails says, is everyone okay? And Knuckles says, that wasn't an emergency landing. That was a crash. Thanks, Captain fucking Obvious. Is that meant to be some punchy, witty dialogue? What the fuck? So then they have these, I guess they're meant to be bee-bots, right? And they, the team instantly runs away. It's a nice picture here of them all running away. So the art is great. The art for this is really good. So Tails notices that the entrance is the Eggman logo. So Sonic's like, all right, we're heading up. So Tails flies Amy up. Sonic runs Knuckles up. They do the best friend thing, right? That's good. I like that idea that they keep teasing him and oh, we're best friends. We're not best friends. That's kind of cool. So they get inside and they see this really dark, dreary place, because it's Eggman. So they follow Eggman because they kind of see his silhouette going away, and they enter this real red room, and Metal Sonic is hooked up to this device, right? So Eggman then decides to tell them his plan. Of course he does, right? So he's like, my plans always fall apart due to various circumstances, right? And Amy's like, you mean us? Various circumstances, which is good. There's a real nice shot here. I don't know if I can get all of it in the picture for you guys, but it's a really nice shot of Eggman just kind of standing with a bunch of ones and zeros behind him. It is cool. So he's like, he wonders if he compiles data from his previous efforts, he can come up with the ultimate world domination plan, because there's no room for error. It's calculated every possibility, right? So that leads the optimal path for the Eggman Empire. He's going to feed it all into Metal Sonic so he can, go through the simulations, create that path. But it requires a lot of electricity, which is why he has the generators, right? But even though he has the generators, it hasn't been enough. So he's thought about, maybe I could get a Chaos Emerald, right? But he saw the energy spike of the meteor, so he said, yep, this will do the trick. Yeah, that'll do the trick. So Eggman, he's moving the meteor towards Metal. They're all like, no, don't do it. Then the vines from the meteor attach to Metal. Metal turns on, and the process begins, right? And then again, this awkward dialogue. So Tails says, what's going on? Could it be the plant inside the meteor is sentient? Like, that's not bad, but it could be worded better. Right? And then Amy says, you mean this meteor that fell from space has a life of its own? Have you ever heard Amy Rose speak this way? Have you ever heard Amy talk this robotic? This is not how Amy talks. She would have been like, wait, you mean the meteor is alive? Like, you mean this meteor that we saw and fell from space from Angel Island 4 panels ago has a life of its own? It is alive? And currently using metals? Like, what are we talking, dude? My god. So, Eggman goes over the scenario that this plant Metal Sonic has come up with. There's a cool shot here of, like, plant metal. That's what I'm calling them, plant metal. So, basically, it just says that if there's no life, there's no randomness. It's the whole, like, well, if there's no life, there will be no chaos type of thing, right? That's pretty much what it is. And Eggman's like, well, that's good for me, dude. Like, because, if there's no life, right? He wants to just world dominate anywhere. So the eradication of life is the optimal path. That's good for me. But God, listen to how this is written. This plan suits both the meteor's basic desire to grow its own life and my original directive of world domination. And so our desires have been merged. Therefore, the eradication of all life on the planet is the optimal path. Metal will now initiate. What the fuck is this dialogue? Do you know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like these were the notes that the writer had for, like, writing the story, and then instead of translating that into dialogue, they just copy and pasted it. And they just changed the Eggman plan to, like, actual saying, like, my, I, that type of stuff. Because, my god, this dialogue is awful. So we move elsewhere where there's Ray and Mighty, and Ray's like, I don't know, man, I get this kind of strange feeling, but anyway, whatever. And they're like, where are we gonna go next? And then you see, like, the vines from the meteor come all the way here. They grab Ray, they shake him for the Chaos Emeralds, they steal his lunch money, and they take the Chaos Emerald to Ray, and Ray and Mighty go after it. We see the same thing is happening with the hooligans, and they steal the Chaos Emerald that Bean and Fang had. How the fuck those two managed to get Chaos Emeralds, I will never know. Then we see Trip. Trip is back, and she's got a Chaos Emerald, and she is quickly taken away. Thanks for the cameo, Trip. I can pretty much tell you a lot of these are just fucking cameos because they don't do anything. Right? So, Eggman's cheering on Metal. Go, Metal! You got this! And Amy's like, wait, doesn't all life include you? And Eggman's like, well, I mean, I guess if there's no me, there's no Eggman Empire. And then, more Tails dialogue. That's not the point, Eggman. Technology and nature can actually exist in harmony with each other. But reckless use of tech for your own gain, that isn't compatible with life. What? What the fuck? Like, okay. A better way to put this for Tails is Tails could have said, that's not the point, Eggman. Technology and nature can exist in harmony with each other, but your reckless use of technology for your own gain isn't compatible with life itself. That would have been a lot better. Right? Like, my god, dude, oh my god. So they're all kicked out by the vines, pretty much just get off my fucking lawn. And Eggman's like, this is inconceivable. How could I be foiled? So they end up in, like, the secondary control room where they were, and Tails finds the 3 generators. He's like, all right, Sonic goes after one, Amy goes after the other, Knuckles will go after the other. I'll stay here to make sure Eggman doesn't try anything. There is a good panel here where Sonic like gives Tail like a rub on the head, going like, "Hey, you got the biggest plane on the planet. You got the biggest brain on the planet, buddy." Like, I'm like, that's nice. So they all run off to go do their thing, right? So Sonic is the first one. He's like, "Where's the generator?" Then from behind him, you can see it's like a Metal Sonic little big. It's like a Metal Sonic penguin almost, At this time, Ray and Mighty are riding the vine, and they see Sonic, and they go to help him, which is great. They all fall down because Mighty doesn't know his own strength. He like punches the ground, and it causes the ground to break. So they all fall down, and the generator is broken because the Metal Sonic penguin duck thing falls on it. So there you go. So they decide to join Sonic, right? And it's a cool shot here with the three of them. It's like, hey, Sega Sonic, hey, pretty cool. So then we get to Amy. She sees the generator. She's like, "Is my hammer gonna break this?" Oh well. But then at this time, here comes the Hooligans, and Fang and Bean are having a fight because Bean just wants to throw bombs, and Fang is like, "What the fuck is your problem, dude?" Then Bean just drops them. Amy manages to hit one of the bombs with her hammer, and she sends it to the generator, and that blows it up. All right. So Fang's mad. He's like, "Hey, this damn thing took my treasure," which is, the Chaos Emerald, right? So then we move on to Knuckles, and Knuckles has the funniest one, where Tails like, "You gotta do this, Knuckles! The 6 Chaos Emeralds are coming this way, you gotta hurry!" And Knuckles just casually punches the thing once and breaks it. I'm like, that's good. I like that. That's a comedy moment that I like. Knuckles turns around, and Trip is there holding back a Motobug. He's like, "Hey, Trip." And she's like, "Hi, Mr. Knuckles." Bye, Mr. Knuckles, because she's sent away. I thought that was fun. So, Tails sees, like, all the new people, and he's like, "What the hell happened here?" So they notice, like, "Oh, we have all the Chaos Emeralds here, right?" And then Tails is like, "Okay, but where's the green one?" And then Eggman's like, "Well, I have the green one." And they just snatch it from him. So more vines, more Badniks show up, and they're like, "Sonic, you take the Chaos Emeralds, go stop Metal, we'll take care of all these guys." So that's what Sonic does, and he enters, the big place where Metal is. And there is actually a pretty cool line here where he says, "Metal, I know this is all because of that life-giving meteor, but it'd be awesome if you could figure out your own life of your own, and then you could spend it with all of us instead of that loser Eggman. What do you say?" And Metal goes, "Fuck you." And I think this is the first time we've ever seen this. Classic Supersonic. I don't think IDW has ever done classic Supersonic before. I don't remember if they've ever done classic Supersonic in any of their comic books. So it's cool to see him, and the fight between the two is pretty sweet. It's kind of basic, but it's still sweet to see it. Metal's got like this glow over him too. He's kind of like imbued with the power of the meteor. It's pretty sweet. So Sonic and Metal end up fighting. They do kind of like an homage to the OVA where they're like, their foreheads are touching, and they're like, and then the meteor blows up from all of the impact that they're forcing on it. Blows up. Metal latches onto the side of the base, and he grabs Sonic. And Sonic's like, "Whoa, you saved me!" And Metal just drops him, that's pretty cool. So then, like, the meteor has just exploded into shards, and they're falling from the sky. Kind of looks like Pretty Rain type of thing, right? And Tails is like, and Ray is like, "Hey, everyone, make a wish." It's close enough to shooting stars, right? So they all make a wish, and Amy and Trip asks Sonic, "What'd you wish for?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm not telling, but it's probably more fun than Knuckles, And Knuckles is like, "My wish isn't boring." So I was like, "Why don't you tell your best friend?" "Again, you're not my best friend," and that's how we end it. So it's pretty basic story. That's the 35th anniversary special. It's nothing crazy, but it does the job of being just a nice little fun adventure. My problem with this is the dialogue, because good lord is it atrocious. The dialogue in this story is like, how did this get past the editors? How did this get past anyone? Right? Like, I would never ever deem a lot of the way this dialogue is written is okay. It's not good. So I looked up the writer, who is Isamin Omar Ada, right? Who has mainly been an artist on the comic books, but she has also, like, she's done cover art for the comic books, done some coloring, and has written some things. So she wrote the Crossworlds one-shot, which I did like. I did like the Crossroads one shot. I mean, I don't love the thing, but I'm like, it's okay, right? Like, you know, whatever. You know, it's fine for what it is. You know, what did I give it? I think I gave it like a 6 or something, you know? Just like, yeah, whatever, it's a 6. She wrote a story in the 2024 annual. She wrote the Winter Jam special, which I have not read. And recently she wrote issue 87 and 88 of the Sonic the Hedgehog mainline comic books. I don't believe she did fucking anything, though, because those issues are also written by Evan Stanley, and I have a full feeling that Evan did 99.9% of the work on these issues, and Izaman did, like, you know, that extra 1%. That's fully what I believe this is. It's the thing where it's like, oh, you contributed an idea, so we're gonna put your name on the writing credit. You see this all the time. There's no fucking way she probably wrote any of that. Who knows? You know, who knows? Maybe she did. Maybe she did. But like, good lord, man, the dialogue in this was fucking atrocious, right? Like, my god, dude. I honest to God cannot believe that a lot of this dialogue made it through, because that's fucking, it's bad. It's just straight up bad. It sounds like so unnatural to how someone speaks, you know. And as someone who has like written things on his own, written stories on my own, you have to find the way of making it seem natural, make it seem like a person would say this, right? Especially the person you're trying to speak, because you know, the other characters, they have different ways of speaking, but the way they all talk, the way a lot of them talked was very like robotic and like unnatural almost. I just can't believe this got out, and this might be Izaman's like first full writing, because there's no way that she wrote any of the 87 and 88 on her own. And Crossworlds, I have a feeling that shit may have gotten a bit of polishing from some other people. So, you know, like, this is not a good intro for me to you, because Crossworlds, again, the one shot, I was like, it's whatever. But the dialogue there was way better than whatever the fuck this is, because this is crazy, man. I mean, like, the story itself is nothing crazy either. It's very simple, bare bones. It's not awful. It's got a good idea, but, you know, I'm just like, I'm not exactly gonna recommend this, you know, to anyone. I mean, if you want to read it, go ahead. It's not bad, but I wouldn't, like, run out to get it. Comparing this to the other anniversary specials, I mean, better than the Knuckles one, because the Knuckles one was just straight up dog shit, right? But, like, if we compare this to, like, Seasons of Chaos, Seasons of Chaos is the best anniversary special. Then the Tails one's great. The Amy one is good, too. The Knuckles one sucks. And this one's just very average, you know? I would give this, like, a 5. You know, that's where I'm putting it. It's a 5. It doesn't offend me, but I'm like, I'll never read this again. You know, I'm never gonna read this again. That's where I would put it, though. It's a 5. And please, can we... You know, maybe it's a thing where this was actually Izaman's first... I'm trying to give her a benefit of the doubt here. That this was her first actual thing she wrote. And then over time, as she started to write the other things, her writing style got better. Because, you know, a lot of stuff is, like, written far, far, far in advance. Right? And we're only just seeing it now. So it could be that she wrote this as, like, her first story a long time ago. And then, you know, she wrote the other ones later. And her writing got better. Could be the case. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, but if it's not, then it's not good writing. But there we go. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think if you've read the issue. If you haven't, and you know, I've just talked about it, you know, I really don't recommend reading the issue, but if you want to go read it, I'm not gonna stop you. But that's where I leave it. Let me know how you guys think. See you all the next time. Take care.